Hello everyone. My name is Pavitra, and what I've been reflecting recently is that we are 2 weeks into January, and I can't believe how quickly time is passing. And one of the things that I've noticed is that many of us, myself included, have spent the last few weeks planning. Planning, writing down lists, writing down goals, creating a structure. Some of us have been working with vision boards and many ways to plan ahead for 2021 and to provide a sense of structure, a sense of safety and security in achieving our goals and having some forward momentum in 2021. It sounds wonderful. I know when I made my own lists or visions for 2021, I felt like I was being filled with life. And the reason why I felt that way was because I noticed that I was connecting with the creative source, the creative flow that was present in my life, that wanted to be it was in my subconscious mind. It was alive in my body, but it needed a platform where it could be seen, it could be felt, it could become real, so that they were not just something in my subconscious mind. It could be brought forward into my present reality. But what I've been actually noticing the last few weeks is that in myself and in conversations with people is that there's a sense of deep unhealthy attachments to these lists, to these lists or goals. I don't know about you, but I know there's some people with yearly goals, quarterly goals, 6-monthly goals, monthly goals, weekly goals, daily goals, and then goals for morning, afternoon, evening, and night. There are people like that. And then on the flip side, there are people who have no goals at all and are happy to just go with the flow of life. They are two extremes of the way of life, and they are extremely contrasting to each other. But as we all know, that one extreme, when we find ourselves on either extremes, it becomes detrimental to thriving in this life. So when we look at over planning and over attachment to our lists and goals, then what are we actually lacking, or what are we afraid to allow into our lives? When I think of our current way of living and our own personal attachment to these lists, I think of our disconnection from our body and our attachment to external structures to give us a sense of security and sense of safety. And this can range right from our government political structure right through to various structures, relationship structures or work structures that we've put in place in our own lives. And as we are currently witnessing, these structures, right from the big to the micro, are undergoing massive transformation in our lives. And this means that the old way of relying on external structures, i.e. lists and goals, to give us some form of safety in our everyday life, some form of momentum and some form of faith that we can achieve what we need to achieve, is breaking down. It's also a very masculine way of being and very disconnected from the feminine way of being. The feminine way of being has freedom, has flow, and has faith. The 3 F's, I call it 3 F's: freedom, flow, and faith. And I noticed that when I have these 3 abundantly moving in my body, they're in my body. I can only feel it in my body. And when it's alive in my body, it takes me less time to achieve anything. And I notice that I actually don't need to look at my lists or goals or, what do they call them, tasks list for the day. I can just go with that faith, that flow and freedom to address the tasks that I need to, because I'm in tune with what my body and my creativity are wanting to dance and create and deliver in my everyday life. And what I have been finding the last few years is that these lists or tasks lists are disconnecting me from that very source of being alive, being in faith, and being in complete flow with life. I'm not saying that having lists is a wrong thing. But when we get so attached to these lists, when we wake up in the morning and the first thing we go is to those lists to give us a sense of direction and purpose, then I think, wait, why the list has to be a form of a guide, not something that we're attached to give us a sense of purpose. The sense of purpose comes from within us. It comes from deep within our body. And that should be the driving force through which we address our lists and our goals and our tasks. It shouldn't be the other way around. Well, I say it shouldn't. It is the other way around, unfortunately. And how can we find some balance in allowing the masculine and the feminine way of being to come and kiss each other and create from this space? I know a lot of creative people in my life, and I've been meeting a lot of creative people in my life recently who want to create, who do such beautiful things in their life. And yet I notice that these people rely heavily on tasks, lists, and goals every day. And it makes I am one of them for sure. I also astrologically have my sun in Virgo, which means I cannot ever get away from list making. That means it can shake the very foundation on which I live. And yet I am actually exploring and questioning, how much have I become attached to these lists? How are these lists and spreadsheets and all of those things defining and driving my life every day? And how have I disconnected from the simplicity of showing up every day for what is needing to be done through the creative flow that's present in my body? And as I'm exploring this, I'm starting to see this very controlled way of being in us women, particularly, in how we address our sensuality, in how we relate to life, let alone sensuality in ourselves and our relationships. How does this sensuality flow in life? It's not through list making, it's not through structure, it's through flow, it's through freedom, and it's through faith. So I invite you to play with me as I am also transforming these ways of having some form of structure in my life, or my attachments to structures that I have created in my life. And this needing to wake up and tick items off my list. I'm wanting to find a new balance in this. I'm wanting to give room for this flow of life to happen within a safe structure. So that this dance can be a beautiful dance rather than a friction of, fire and earth. So I invite you, come play with me, and also please tell me how you've been finding creating structures or lists in your life, and what have you noticed in your life when you rely too much on these lists. How has it been showing up in your everyday life? Has it been creating more momentum, or has it been taking you away from breathing into your body and noticing what task needs to be done in the moment, rather than what needs to be done because there's a list to get to. And I completely acknowledge that we're all working and functioning at the same time, particularly as women. We're trying to do so many things at the same time. We're trying to live in this masculinized world, and have control, have structure, have direction. And at the same time, there is a deep need for us to trust our bodies, have faith in our bodies, flow with our body the way that it does every month, and also to become very in tune with the language of the universe. I feel, just having said that out loud, I feel relief, and I feel like I've just landed in my body too. So I hope this has inspired you in some way too. And feel free to leave me a comment or message, and I will see you again next week. Take care. Bye-bye.